Numbers don't lie, or do they? For weeks, the Bay Area's biggest city has boasted that gang crime has decreased considerably. Officials in San Jose credit their gang suppression efforts. But investigative reporter Jenna Susko has uncovered the city may be playing a numbers game with crime statistics.
That's right, Raj. We've spent months reviewing confidential police notes, court cases, and witness statements. Tonight, high-ranking sources within the San Jose Police Department say the city is misleading the public about gang violence. It was the night before Memorial Day.
He's got his headphones on, listening to his music, get ready to walk home. It wasn't that he was fearless, he had no idea how much danger he actually was in.
DJ Watkins was murdered on his way home from working at GameStop, just 3 days shy of his 21st birthday. Police told you that it was a gang-related murder.
They believed it was gang-related.
Jarrell Watkins says his nephew just moved here from Ohio and was not in a gang, but he was in a known gang neighborhood at the time of his murder. DJ was killed near Oak Grove football field, where he planned to coach youth football with his uncle.
For my nephew to get baptized 4 weeks to the day that he died, that's somebody who knew that their time was up.
DJ was gone, but it's his story, the stories of others murdered.
You don't ever want to experience that.
And the message police were about to send the public,
and statistically, we're doing great.
That would soon collide.
I don't know how stupid they think we are, but I'm not that stupid.
Reductions in gang-related
working hard to keep the community safe.
On the gang issues.
Around the same time,
Gang-related violent crime right now is certainly a concern to us.
San Jose was promoting its new gang suppression plan for the summer. Extra patrols saturated gang hotspots. The result? Some impressive stats. Gang-related crime down in every category from last year. Homicides dropped the most, more than 40%.
Gang homicides are down from what they were last year, and the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force has an important role to play.
So with that plan, we found that it was very successful.
And that success flooded headlines.
We're proud of our stats this year, but definitely have a lid on the issue here in San Jose.
But we found the city isn't telling you the whole story. The administration is saying that gang-related crime is down. Is that true?
No, it's not true. I think my first reaction was shock and then anger. We know it's not true. It's a lie.
Both are veteran San Jose police officers with inside knowledge of gang-related cases. Because they fear retaliation, we altered their appearance and voices. So you're saying that the department is lying to the public right now about gang-related activity in the city?
I believe they are.
The police department claims from January through August of last year, there were 14 gang-related murders. This year, 8.
I'm saying there's more. I'm saying there are homicides that have gang ties, associations, gang members involved, that they don't want to classify it as a gang homicide.
Here's what the San Jose Police Department didn't tell you. It changed the way it classifies gang-related murders. In June, it decided homicides are gang-related only if police have evidence the motive was to benefit a gang. So that means just because a gang member commits a crime doesn't make it gang-related. Police then retroactively applied this new, stricter criteria to all homicides in 2013. They compared those numbers to gang-related murders in 2012, which didn't have the stricter criteria, revealing a dramatic drop. Is it really an accurate picture of what's happening?
It's not. If you take 5 or 6 homicides that have not been classified as gang-related homicides this year, last year they would have been.
Like the murder of Francisco Lugo. It was a gang-related case because San Jose police say gang members were involved. But it was changed to non-gang related based on the new criteria. Of the 8 cases police classified as gang-related this year, DJ Watkins isn't one of them.
Well, I can't speak for the other families, but I can speak for mine. So you mean to tell me my nephew got killed in the gang area, then now you're saying it wasn't gang-related? How many other cases have you done that to?
2 teenagers were murdered the same day as DJ Watkins, shot next to Kohl's department store. Police say it wasn't gang-related either. But the suspected killers are both charged in another case as gang members, for attempting to murder someone to benefit their gang.
You know what I mean?
Robert Rios is a former gang member. He now spends his time trying to stop the violence.
I think that it could be my kids. It could be my friends' kids. The next victim.
Which is why he says the public needs to know what's really happening in their neighborhoods.
We have a problem. We have a gang problem. It exists. We're not going to make it go away by lying to the people.
How many cases do you think there are that are gang related that police haven't said?
I think more, a whole lot more than what they say.
We wanted to talk to the police department about the stats, but the chief, the commander of the homicide unit, even the public relations officers denied our requests for an interview.
Well, I think the public has a false perception of what's really going on in their neighborhoods. And for the city to come out and basically say, oh, things are hunky-dory it's crap. If you lie about the numbers and you lie about the violence and the gang ties, you're not going to solve the crime. So if you don't solve the crime, you're going to have another one.
As for DJ's case, no suspect has been identified. It remains unsolved.
You know, something about losing a child. You know, I've heard people say it all the time that, you know, you don't ever want to experience that because part of you just dies.
And the truth about the numbers, about how safe San Jose really is, also remains a mystery. San Jose police have released several updates on gang stats this year, but it wasn't until after we started asking questions that the department notified the public it had changed the way it classifies gang-related homicides. The department still stands by their stats that gang-related murders are down more than 40%, even though total homicides increased over the same time period. Raj?
Follow up now to an NBC Bay Area exclusive. City and county leaders are questioning San Jose's gang crime statistics. It comes after we exposed the police department for misleading the public about gang crime being down in the Bay Area's biggest city. Investigative reporter Jenna Sesko broke the story and joins us now with the latest. Jenna.
Raj, the city said for weeks gang-related homicides were down more than 40% from last year, crediting gang suppression efforts. Officials touted that success at community meetings. Tonight was the fourth and final town hall meeting on gang violence, and no mention of those impressive stats. It comes after we exposed the police department used new, stricter criteria this year to classify gang-related crimes, then compared those numbers to last year's, which revealed a dramatic drop. The department did not tell the public until after we started asking questions. We caught up with the mayor before tonight's meeting. Hi, Mayor. Can we talk to you for just a moment?
No, I'm going to go to a meeting.
The meeting didn't start for another few minutes, and we were told he slipped out after introductions. The deputy chief also refused to talk to us. He left early as well. Other local leaders, though, were there tonight, including County Supervisor Dave Cortese, and he says the city needs to come clean about its gang stats.
They shouldn't have anything to hide. If there is something to hide, then it's a full-blown scandal. And, you know, and that's what we're all afraid of. You know, on top of everything else that's going on right now, you know, to have a full-blown police scandal in terms of these kinds of statistics and people allegedly cooking the books would not just be demoralizing for the police department and city administration, but for the public, for the residents of the city of San Jose.
Now, Supervisor Cortese also said he supports this memo Councilman Ash Kara submitted today. Kara wants the San Jose Police Department to explain and update its gang crime statistics. Now, the Rules Committee will decide next week whether the issue will go before City Council. Back to you. No one from the San Jose Police Department would go on camera to talk about the inaccurate comparison of gang crime statistics until now. And today, in a very candid interview, the chief talked openly about the mistakes made, the changes to come, and a pledge to bring transparency to the department.
And this department and community is important to me.
Acting Police Chief Larry Esquivel wants you to know he's sorry.
And I apologize to our citizens. I apologize to our politicians, we don't want to hide.
Apologizing for telling the public gang-related homicides are down more than 40% compared to last year, when in reality, the department doesn't know that because it was comparing apples to oranges. Our investigation sparked outrage from city and county leaders.
Someone should have said, hey, you know, these numbers don't necessarily reflect a year-over-year drop in gang crime because we change the definition. That didn't happen, and that's what's troubling.
They shouldn't have anything to hide. If there is something to hide, then it's a full-blown scandal.
Earlier this month, we exposed the police department used new, stricter criteria to classify gang-related murders, then compared those numbers to last year's, which didn't have that stricter criteria, revealing a dramatic drop.
You're right. I mean, you're right, Jenna. It is apples to oranges. It is. And it's not a true or a fair comparison.
The department did not tell the public until after we started asking questions.
In hindsight, we wouldn't make that comparison, believe me. It wasn't messaged properly on our part, and I take responsibility for that. And we could have done a better job externally to the public and to the media, and that's what we're trying to fix.
We wanted to know if the department used the same criteria this year as it did last year to classify gang cases. Would gang-related murders actually be down?
I'm not really sure because it is somewhat subjective, but I would tend to think that the number of 8 of the last reporting, those numbers would probably be a couple higher.
You'll remember the department said for weeks gang crime in San Jose is down, crediting gang suppression efforts. City leaders touted that success at town hall meetings.
And we do it better than anybody in the country.
Until last night, when there was no mention of those impressive stats. The chief says he will not use that comparison again.
So recently we've actually taken away the gang-related homicides as part of the total percentage change.
The chief says addressing gang violence is a priority, and the public deserves accurate and fair information.
And it's important for me to be transparent and report correctly. I can guarantee you that mistake is not going to happen again.
And the police department says it's in the process of removing the gang-related murder statistics from its website. Meanwhile, the Rules and Open Government Committee will decide next week whether the issue will go before City Council. Back to you, Raj.